Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Pirai Academy. So today we are going to see about some basic tips on Soliton interview problems. Okay, mainly focusing on the coding rounds because there are much more pain points that are apart from the logics. Okay, I want to tell you such types of pain points and what are all those difficulties you will be facing while you are solving in a short programming round or in a long programming round. Okay, so just watch this full video so that you can understand what are all those difficulties you will be facing in the short programming and long programming round rather than the logic. Okay, fine. So the first thing is they will be given an array in a string format. Okay, this entirely will be a string. Then how we are going to get the input? Okay, for example, in 2026 batch, okay, they have asked the maximum subarray. So this is a question where we will be using a Cardin's algorithm, or you can also solve this in a brute force approach also. But the difficulty in this problem is getting the input. So this logic will be somewhat easy, but this input format will be a difficulty while you are in a short programming round. They will be only given this as a string data type. Okay, so we want to just extract each and every element and store them in an array. Now let us know how we are going to do this. Fine. So if they have given this as a string, just store this in a string data type. Now just traverse among this. First of all, go here. It is what? Open bracket. Whenever there's an open bracket, just ignore it. Just ignore it. Now I'll be here. It is what? It is 5, which means it is a numeric, right? So initially I'll be having my numeric, which will be storing each and every values. So numeric will be initially 0. Now it will be 5. Now next thing is comma. Comma represent me, hey, it is a stopping point. So stop. So this is going to be one of the element. Okay. So initially I'll be taking array that of size maybe of 100. Initially my current pointer will be pointing to 0th index. Now here comes comma, right? Here comes comma. So I want to store this 5 into this array. So just store this 5 in the 0th index and make this pointer to move to the first index and make this again into 0, which means we have just restarted it. Okay. Now the next is 2. 2 is a numeric. So I'll be changing this into 2. Again, it is a numeric. What is it? It is 0, which means we want to add 0 here, right? So it is basically like we will be just taking this 2 to the 10th place to add this 0 in a 1th place. So just multiply with 10 plus 0, which is equal to 20. That's it. Can you understand this? Now the next thing is comma. Comma represent what? Comma represent hey, stop here. It is separate value. So just take this 20 and add here and make this pointer to move here, to move to the second in this. Can you understand this? So this particular pointer will be just denoting where you want to insert the current element. Now next I will be traversing. Before that I'll be changing this to resetting it to 0, right? Now here comes the twist. As of now, we will be experiencing all as a positive number. Now, first of all, we are encountering a negative number. So here comes a negative symbol. What should I do? So the easy thing you can be doing is just take a flag variable called sign and make this as -1 now. Initially, it will be 1. Now make this as -1. I will be telling you why in future. Okay. Now, what is the next thing? It is 1. So what is the procedure? Into 10 plus 1. So 0 into 10. 0 plus 1. Now next thing is what? Next thing is comma. Comma means you want to add there. So while adding, just take this 1 and multiply with the sign flag. Okay, sign flag. If the sign is initially 1, which means the resultant should be positive. if the sign is negative, then the resultant should be negative. So it should be -1, and make this to move to the next value. Then again I'll be going to the next thing. Before that, I'll be just making this number to 0. Now again the next thing is minus, which means after doing all this, I'll be again changing this to 1. When I encounter again the sign is minus, the current value is minus, I'll be making this to -1. Can you understand this? Yes. Okay. Now the next thing is 2. So 0 into 10 plus 2, which is equal to 2. Okay. Now what is the next thing? It is 0. So again into 10 plus 0, which is equal to 20. Now it is what? Comma, which means we want to add in the our array. Okay. So while adding, I want to take this -1 into 20, which is equal to -20, add here. So which is equal to -20. Now take this particular pointer and move to the next value and make this sign to 1, which means I'm resetting the sign and resetting the value. Now then go for the 3. So it is, we don't want to do anything in a sign. Sign will be remain as 1 itself. So now 3. So 0 into 10 plus 3, which is equal to 3. Okay. Now again it is what? It is close bracket. Whenever we encounter comma or close bracket, it represents, hey, you finish the current element. So 3 into 1, which is equal to 3. So I'll be adding 3. Now we have successfully created this. Now the pointer will be after this, which means here comes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the pointer is lying at 5, which means the length of the current array will be going to be 5. So the indices will be ranges from 0 up to 4. Can you understand this? So this is how we will be converting the given string representation of an array into an actual array. So this is the part where everyone will be struggling at that time. They will be just not remembering the sign as in the constraint. In the constraint, they will be given like -1000 to 1000. They may give like that, which means it also contains negative value also. But we didn't saw that by mistake, and we not include this sign variable, and every test cases will be hidden, and we will be just knowing that our algorithm, our main algorithm is the mistake, but actually getting the input itself a mistake. Can you understand this? So we want to take care of this part. So let us check out the code so that it will be more clear. So see here, this is the code. Initially they have given this like a string representation. Okay, take for example, now this ARR going to be the actual array that we are going to get. Okay, now int n is equal to 0, num is equal to 0, and sign is equal to 1. I'll be telling you what this corresponding will be when we are going into the code. Okay, now I'll be iterating over the string up to what? Up to it is null. Okay, you know that the last part of the string will be always null. That's why I'm checking it is not equal to null. Up to that I will be just iterating. And remember, every problem will be solved using C programming. So that's the reason why it makes the difficulty much more than Java or Python or C++, where you will be having a data type called string and you will be having an inbuilt functions. But here in the interview process, you cannot use any inbuilt function and you are allowed to solve only in C. That's the reason why there is some difficulty. So I want to tell you those difficulty in this throughout the video. Okay, see here, if the current element is a minus symbol, then I want to change the sign as -1. Initially the sign is what? 1 only, the flag. Okay, now elif the current element lies between 0 up to 9, which means it is a digit. If it is a digit, what should I do? I'll be taking num into 10 plus str of I minus 0. Can you understand this particular highlighted part? So what it represents is character 0 minus character 0 will be 0. character 1 minus character 0, which is equal to 1. So it will be corresponded to the ASCII value. You know about the ASCII values, right? So by using this, we can convert a character into a digit. Fine. Now, if current value is a comma or a closing bracket, then what should I do? What should I do? So this is going to be the main part. So I'll be taking the array current index. This n going to be the which index I am representing. Now hope you understand what these three variables are going to represent. Okay. Now sign into num for the negative numbers. So this is the case where everyone will be forgetting. They do not include the sign flag variable, and it leads to the much more error. At that point of time, you will be having a limited time. Upon that limited time, you are only supposed to just focus on the logic of that problem, not focusing on the input. That's the reason why I am telling this again and again. Okay. Now num is resetted and sign is also resetted. So this is going to be the overall code, and if I print it, it will be giving me output. For example, this is the given string, right? We already initialized it. So see here, the same output, the desired output is came. Okay. So let us go to the next thing. So next thing I want to tell you is format specifiers, because there are a lot of format specifiers, but we don't know what to use actually. So I want to tell you the next topic is going to be the format specifiers. So let me uncomment it. Okay. So see here, in the format specifier, first let us see format specifier on integers, then it is going to be the hexadecimal, then it is going to be the string, then it is going to be the float values, then it is going to be the how to print the address of any particular variables. Fine. So see here, first of all, I am going to print %d, 42, which means the %d represent signed integer. If you want unsigned integer, it will be %u. First of all, know about this. So this is going to be the ultimate basic. Okay, so signed integers will have a range of negative and also positive, but unsigned will be having only the range of positives. Fine. Okay. Now the second format specifier I want to tell you in the integers is %5d, which means it is right aligned. So which means 42, before 42 there will be 3 spaces. Why there is 3 spaces? Actually 42 is of 2 space. Will hold the 2 space. Before that there will be 3 spaces. Okay. So this is not much important, but know about this. In any particular time, it may be helpful. That's the reason why I am telling you this. Okay. Now if it is -5, then it will be aligned to the left side, which means at the start it will be 2, then there will be 3 spaces. Can you understand this? Yes. Now if I give 0, 5, which means instead of spaces it will be putting zeros. Can you understand this? Okay. So this is going to be your format specifier on integers. Then let us go to the format specifiers on unsigned and the hexadecimal. So see here, unsigned means you want to put %u, and see here for unsigned you want to put u at last, and just listen this. So here totally it is like up to 10 digits, I think so. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. But in actual integer, if you give this particular value, it will be rotated around its negative values, and it gives some negative values. Let me just give you this. First let me just run this. See here it is okay in the unsigned integer, but if I give in the %d, then it will be like minus. Why it is coming as minus? Because it is gone to the maximum value, then it is again rotated back, then it is gone to the remaining steps, and it is standing in a negative value. Can you understand this? Because it is like integer overflow. Here also some of them will be making some mistakes, like For example, their logic is correct. Their logic is correct, but their choice of data type will be wrong. Like in the constraint itself, they will be telling that the digit may contain like 10 digits, 10 digits, like this example, and they have given this same 3 and 9 zeros, and you are getting this input in a integer type, then it will be false. At this time you have two choices: either you can go for unsigned, or better go for long or long by using a format specifier of %ld or LLD. That's going to be much more useful than going for the unsigned. Okay, so here many of them will be making mistake when it is going for the integer overflow. Instead use long or long. Okay, don't use integers when the constraint is attaining the maximum limit of integers. Just go and just watch in Google like what is the size or what is the range of integers long, so that you can use the better and efficient data types. Fine. So %x, so this stands for hexadecimal. Okay, in hexadecimal also it is like it will be starting from 0 up to 9, then it will be continuing from A up to F, right? In this x represent hexadecimal, the equivalent of hexadecimal, that is given in its right side of the format specifier. Okay, if it is small x, then the output also lowercase. If it is capital X, which is uppercase, then the uppercase hexadecimal will be printed out. You can see here. Okay, and you want on a prefix like 0 cross like that. Okay, then you can go with this kind of hexadecimal, but it is not necessary for this particular interview, but still you want to know this. That's the reason why I'm just teaching you. Now let us go to the string formats. So see here, this is going to be a string format. Now %c and then A, which means I will be printing A, and %s will be this you already know. And see here 10s and then high, which means same as an integer. It will be right aligned with the space of 8 before 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and then 8. Okay, here you will be having 8. Can you understand this? So these are the basics. Now for example, if I just do like this, what will be my answer? Let us just proceed. 65. Why I am getting 65? Because the ASCII value of capital A is going to be 65. This may be asked in the MCQ part, and also just know these things. Okay, now let us do another thing. Let me take this and give like 65. Now let us run this. Yeah, can you understand this? So this is called type conversion or typecasting. Okay, so let us go to the next thing. So next thing is going to be the format specifier on float. So this is going to be important in your interview point of view. Why I am telling this as a important? Because you want to know what is the default size and how we can string this default size. So see here, if it is %f, you will be having 6 decimal values. Okay, if there is no such 6 decimal values, then it will be automatically adding 0 for the remaining values. Okay, now if it is 0.2f, then it represent cut out anything after 2 decimal points. Okay, now %e. %e means it is scientific. In your calculator, if you are exceeding some values, it will be giving you in a scientific manner like e, the exponential. So that's going to be here also. Okay, and just go and explore about %g, %f and %e, so that you can understand this. But hats off, no, for your interview purpose, you want to mainly focus on these two things. Apart giving all these things, you want to focus on mainly these two things, because there are people who don't know how to just take only 2 decimal values. In C, you can do this by using format specifier. easily. In Python also you will be having, but still in Soliton it will be focusing on only C. That's why I am taking C. Okay. So let us go to the last thing. So the last thing is going to be how to find the address. So the percentage P will be representing what is the memory address of the particular variable. That's it. Can you understand this? Okay. So this is not for programming purpose, but still for the MCQ also they may ask what is the format specifier that will be used to find out the address of particular variable, or they may give like this and they will be telling you what it will be producing or what is the purpose of using this format specifier. They may ask. Okay, so next thing we are getting into is going to be dynamic array. So what is meant by dynamic array? So dynamic array will be like it is easy, like it is not a fixed size array. We may increase the size of the array. In some cases we don't know whether we are going to use 100 size of array or 200 size of array, so that in those cases, in those scenarios, we want to use some arrays called dynamic array. So this dynamic array will be just created by using a library called standard library. This is going to be your header file, and by using this header file you have like realloc and alloc and calloc, malloc. So these are the functions that will be offering from this header file. Fine. So just focus on this dynamic array. In case they may ask this dynamic array, but it is not guaranteed to be used in the coding rounds, because all the test cases will be in a range of up to 100 or 1000. But in MCQ part they may ask around the pointers, they may ask around structures, and they also ask about these dynamic arrays. So focus on these three things. And it is not much depth concept. It is somewhat a easy concept that will be just focusing on the address rather than storing in a contiguous manner. That's it. Can you understand this? So this is going to be your dynamic array. In case of any other languages like Java or Python, you will be having, in Java you will be having a array list, right? And in Python you will be having list data type. So these are the things that will be replicated in C as a dynamic array. It is not completely same, but still it is used for the not fixed size. There also they both are used for the not fixed size. Okay, so let's get started. So see here, first of all I will be taking star ARR, which means I am taking an integer pointer and pointing it to the null initially, and size of the current array will be 0. And for our purpose I am taking up to 5 size, but in real time you don't know about the real size, right? So at that time you can use this dynamic array. For example, you can use this dynamic array in this example also. In the conversion of the string formatted array into an actual array, you can also use this dynamic array instead of taking a fixed size array, because sometimes they may give values like 1000, or sometimes they may give values like 100. But my suggestion is always use fixed array. That will be saving you time and that will be easy to handling also. Okay, so this dynamic array is mainly focused on the MCQs part. So it is not much important in coding for Soliton interviews. Okay, now each time I will be doing a size plus plus, which means my current array size will be incremented 1 whenever I am just iterating this loop. Now ARR is equal to, I am just typecasting into integer pointer and I am reallocating my array with a size into size of integer. That's it. So which means I'm just taking memory allocation, and I am allocating the memory with the size of the integer. Size of the integer will be depending on your core. Okay, and by using that I am just taking a new space and connecting with the ARR. Okay. Now, if the ARR is equal to null, then what should I do? I just print the memory allocation failed. But maximum, we don't have this condition will be executed, because at maximum you can get this correctly. Okay. Now, array of size -1, which is equal to my current value. Here you can either get the input from the user, or anything like the extractor value, whatever value you want to join with the existing array, you can just equate here, or you can just assign here. So here the last element of the array is updated like this. Here we are just doing what? We are just taking a portion of memory, and we are just combining with the last part, and at the last part I am just giving or assigning some values. Okay, at last if I print it, then I'll be getting the values, corresponding values. At last I'm doing a free of ARR, because it will be just deletes, or it will be deallocates the memory space. That's it. So it is not much needed, but still you want to know about this for your MCQ round. Okay, now let us go to the important, more important part. So this is going to be your string handling. So in string handling, many of them will be making some mistakes on basis of getting strings. Okay, because in C there is no data type called string. There will be only data type called character array. But in other languages, there are data type like string. Okay, so we are now going to focus on how to get an input in C as a string. Okay, let me first comment this out. Okay, just see here. First of all, I am taking two character arrays of size 100. Now inside this, I will just giving a printf statement called enter the first string, and I am getting the first string, and then enter the second string, and I am getting the second string, and then I am just printing it out. Okay, let me run this. What is the error? Okay, anywhere I am not commented out. It's here. Okay. Now anywhere else? Yes. Okay. Now let me type here as Pirai, here as Sudan. Okay, now it is executed successfully. But if I execute it based on like Pirai Sudan, now what are two errors that are occurring? The two errors that are occurring is, here it is not taking space first of all, because here first is what? Only Pirai, but I have given Pirai Sudan. Where is Sudan? Because that's a space. So whenever you are taking as a string data type, we don't want the reference type. Like in integers, when you are getting the input, you will be taking like ampersand. This represents the reference, the address. But in string, it is a type of reference only, reference of characters. So we don't want reference to be again assigned. But still, when you are giving a space, so after the space, it will be not taking it out. Okay, so this is going to be a first error. And your second error is, it is not even getting the second string. And it itself assigns the second as Sudan. Can you understand this? So it is like when the space is encountered, Pirai is taken and Sudan is taken as a second string, but it is a error. So just understand this. You have just written a large number of logics, and you have written everything, and you have done with everything, but at last you are getting a error. Then suddenly our mind thinks about what is the logic mistake, rather than what is the IO mistake, input output mistake. So at that time, we subconsciously, we are not going to the input part. Okay, there you will be taking a time loss. So you want to focus more on inputs, how you want to get the inputs, so that at the time of examination you don't want to recheck the inputs, or you can easily recheck the inputs and you can easily go and find the errors, because I personally made these mistakes. That's the reason why I'm telling you, because we are just practicing in a platforms. For myself, I am practicing in lead code, where I don't want to get the input or I don't want to print the output. I'll be getting the values in the parameter and I'll be returning the output. The driver code will be handling the input and output. So for those who have just tried in these kinds of platforms, I suggest you to know how we are going to get these outputs and what are all those common errors we will be making here. Okay, so that's the main purpose of making this video. Okay, so how we are going to rectify this error? Let me comment this out. Let me go to the next thing. So what defines the breaking of strings? Hats of me, I am writing like Pirai, space and Sudan. Then I am clicking the enter. So enter means the one string is completed. So here I am going to use a format specifier like wherever the enter is not encountered, whenever there is a not enter encountered, then up to that I want to take that as a string. Can you understand this? So this is going to be a format specifier. So up to which it is not, slash n means what? It is a enter. I want to take that particular string. Okay, and up to which it is not enter, I want to take the string 2 also. Let me go with only one string, then we can go with 2 strings. Okay, so let me go with one string. So then yes, so we got the output. Now let us go with 2 strings. What is the error now? It got the value, and when I entered, it is also taking that enter as the second string. It is also taking the enter as a second string. Can you understand this? Here there's a space, right? Can you understand this? Because the second string is what? Enter. So to avoid this error, can you understand what is the error? The error is it is not taking the second string, instead it is taking the enter as a second string. So now to rectify this particular error, we are going to do something like it will be just eating the leftover string. That's it. Okay, so now we are going to use some important function. So let me just take this. See here, get her. So sorry, get char. So this get char will be just getting the leftover strings, which means the slash n. That slash n will be got by this particular get char. This get char function will be used for what? For getting a simple character. So it will be getting the slash n and it will be proceeding with the next steps. Can you understand this? So this is going to be one of the important method you can use here. Okay, fine. So instead of this, if I think like instead of getting into a get char, so first let me execute this so that you can understand this, right? Yes, it is executing successfully, but in your real-time interview you are not allowed to use the inbuilt functions. So at this point of time my mind will be going to what? Hey, just take a character. Let me take a character and get the leftover string in the character. That's it. So let us just execute this and check whether it is correct or not. Okay, so I'm not represent the reference. Okay, I represent the reference. Now Pirai, Sudan. Second name. Now it is executing successfully. Now hope you understand how we are just uh, rectifying this particular error. That /n is got in this filler. If I execute here, printf %c filler. Now if I execute this, see here, okay, so then now see here comes a enter. Can you understand this? Here there is a enter. So that's because of this filler. /n is what? New line. Okay. So now that new line is encountered in this filler. Instead, you can also do with the another approach called just don't do anything. Just put a space here. That's it. So see here, leading space eats any leftover white spaces, fixes the enter issue. Can you understand this? So this can be also used instead of taking a character and getting the value and just using this as a dummy variable. Instead of using this as a dummy variable, you can also do this efficiently by using a space in front of the format specifier. So now let me execute this. It is done successfully. Can you understand this? So you can also do like this. So this is going to be much more important when you are going to the long programming round, where you will be given a string as an input. Okay, and also I want to tell you some other examples also. So in some cases they will be using a colon inside. Like for example, it will be like name space colon space their own password. At this particular point, you will be using like scanner %s space colon %s, and here you will be giving two strings. What are those two strings? str1 and str2. So str1 and str2. So this particular thing is asked in 2025 batch, my batch. Okay, at that point they have given a question in creating a simple database using CA, I think so, in long programming round. At that particular point they have given the input like this, and I struggled a lot. That's the reason I am telling you, the name and password don't contain any spaces, and you want to get those strings. And I personally just done a mistake here and struggled a lot, and I don't want you to do that same mistake. That's why I'm taking this entire video. Okay, so let me print now. Printer %s, we take a space %s string1 string2. So let me execute this. Pirai space colon. Let me password 1 2 3 like this. Yes, can you understand this? So in your string1 there is a name, and in string2 you will be having the password. So by using this also you can adjust your format specifiers. In your format specifier you can also have symbols like this. So these are things you want to mainly focus on to crack the coding round in Soliton technologies. And also you can go and check out my playlist, Soliton technologies playlist, where I have posted all the coding rounds, in whether it is in MCQs or those coding that are asked in short programming, or they are asked in long programming for 2024, 2025 and 2026 batch. And I will be giving that playlist in my description. Just go and watch it. Okay, to understand these kinds of algorithm, just go and watch my YouTube channel, where I have posted plenty of playlists where you can understand each and every problems clearly with multiple approaches. If you really like this video and subscribe to my channel. Don't skip any video in this playlist because all videos will be helpful once you are appearing for the interview process. Thank you.